Welcome back to Hannity as we come to you live. We're in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, and wow. You know, Senator Marco Rubio's with us. How y'all doing, Charleston? You all right? You know, I've asked you a couple of times if you know, this gets tiring. You're doing 4, 5, 6, 7 cities a day, interviews in between, meetings in between that. I'm beginning to understand this is kind of fun.
Absolutely. This is what drives you, because these are folks that came out of work early maybe, or are on the way to work, or have just had a long day, and they're able to be a part of this event. They're fired up about America's future. They know that they are going to play an important role starting tomorrow in changing away from the Obama agenda and getting this country back on the right track.
You know, let me ask one question. How many of you feel, on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can applaud if it's 10, I'm going to ask if it's 10, that you're worried about your country, the economy, the state of the world? Are you all worried about that? Right? Senator, everywhere I go, so many people are concerned. You got 95 million Americans out of the labor force, 50 million in poverty, 46 million on food stamps. You got a doubling of our debt. You've got median income down. Those are scary numbers.
They are, and that's why people know something's going wrong here. I mean, we've had ups and downs before in our history, but this feels different. This is an effort by Barack Obama to change America. He wants to make it more like the rest of the world, and if I say that too often, they criticize me, they repeat myself, but it's the truth. This is what's happening here. We've had presidents before that have been bad, but nothing like this. Yeah. This is a real effort to make America more like another country. We want to be America again.
You know, I did not disagree with your comment that I never disagreed. I actually believe this is by design. This is, you know, back in 2007 and 2008, I, as a conservative, tried to warn the country that I thought this man was more radical than people knew. And so I do believe it's by design. Some of your fellow candidates disagreed with you about it.
Well, it is by design. Obamacare was not an accident. Dodd-Frank was not an accident. The deal with Iran was not an accident. Apologizing for America is not an accident. Gutting our military is not an accident. These unconstitutional executive orders were not by accident. They know exactly everything. It's all part of a process. They want to make America more like another country. We're not going to let that happen. That's why 2016 is so important.
So, with all of these Americans, and I really, you know, every time you throw out 95 million, 50 million, 46 million, we forget these are our friends, our neighbors, our family, fellow Americans, really suffering, really struggling. How do we get those people back to work and out of poverty and off of food stamps? How do you get there?
First, you do what they're doing in South Carolina. You embrace free enterprise. You make America the easiest and the best place in the world to start a business and grow a business, because that's what creates jobs, not government. And second is you help people help themselves acquire the skills they need. Look, if you're on food stamps, if you're on public assistance, you should either be working or going to school so you can find a good paying job and not have to rely on the government anymore. And by the way, this is something I say all the time. We need more vocational training in America. We need to teach more of our kids to be welders, pipe fitters, plumbers, airplane mechanics, car technicians. These are good-paying jobs. We stop teaching people how to work with their hands. We have to change that.
It was a big part of my life. I spent 10 years in the construction business. I agree wholeheartedly. One of the things I think most people are concerned about, I see a lot of little kids here.
Yeah.
This president will accumulate more debt than every other president before him combined. How do you pay down $20 trillion in debt, and also when you have $125 trillion in unfunded liabilities?
Well, if you look at the driver of it, it's the way Social Security and Medicare are structured for my generation. Now, my mom is on Medicare and Social Security, so I obviously am against anything that's bad for her. Any changes that would be bad for her.
I'm older than you. I'm hoping you're not going to take my Social Security money away.
But the thing is, we don't want to take it away from anybody. We can leave it the way it is, or even improve it for people that are on it now or are about to retire. But it's going to have to work a little differently for me than it does for my parents and my grandparents, or how it worked for them. And what I mean by that is, instead of retiring at 67, maybe I have to retire at 68. That's not unreasonable to ask of me, 25 years away from retirement, in exchange for bringing our debt under control, leaving it undisturbed for the people that are on it now, and saving it for future generations.
Would you means test and raise the eligibility age? Is that something for younger people?
Yeah, for people that are 25 years like me. You know, my kids are 50 years away from retirement.
Not for people 54 like me, right?
No, you'll be fine, Sean.
By the way, I look a lot younger, don't you think?
Right. No, I think the cutoff is probably 10 years away from retirement or less, and then everyone who's retired now. Why? Because I have 25 years to plan for that. My mom is 85. She can't go back to work. So you can't change it for the people that are on it now or are about to retire. And these changes are not unreasonable. To say to someone that if you've made a lot of money in your life, your Social Security check is not going to grow as fast as someone who made a little less, that's not an unreasonable change. We don't have a choice. These programs will not exist if we don't do something. And so I think we leave it exactly the way it is for people that are on it now or are about to retire. We make modest reforms for future generations. We save the programs. We bring our debt under control, and we can avoid this debt crisis that's coming.
All right.